You hit your head?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Deep breath.
Yeah, no, when you come in, there's something that you gotta do for all of us, okay? Alright, everyone line up. And you have to dance for us.
I know it's her.
Oh, no. Ada, you have to dance. No, you have to.
God, no.
We don't
it
continue
was
the
her.
tour until
It
you
was
do.
her.
You gotta
God,
do the dance.
do a move. There you
There
go.
you go. Straight.
Hey!
Cool. Next person to enter out has to do the same thing, okay? Good dance moves. That was great. Alright, guys. So Solomon Lake, kind of a jerk face. Frank Schmidt, the exact opposite. Did you guys see the plaque dedicated to Frank Schmidt out front of the cave?
Oh,
Anybody?
Didn't.
No? Okay, when we leave, make sure you check it out, okay?
Okay.
Frank, super cool guy. He goes on one of those earliest tours. He watches people breaking these off the wall in front of his face.
Yeah.
He gets so mad, he simply buys the mining rights to the cave right out from under Solomon Lake's feet. Right? Yes. So what I'm telling you guys is he steals the cave to preserve it, which I think is super awesome. Okay. After he does that, he has an even better idea. He says, I'm going to be the only tour guide here from now on. That way, if anyone wants to come down, they have to come with me. I can keep an eye on people that way. Right? For that reason, he was the longest serving tour guide here of all time. He gave tours by himself in the cave until he was 84 years old. Wow, right? 85, 1 year later, he passed away. Meaning until the end of that guy's life, he dedicated pretty much everything he had at this place, which I think is pretty amazing, right? Without him, I can guarantee you guys, almost all of these would be completely gone. There'd be nothing to stare at, okay? The cave would be defaced in a ton of different ways. And funny enough, we would not have these walkways, right? These are not native to the cave. I know that might surprise a few people, right? He did have a group called the CCC come in and build these. You guys ever heard of the CCC before? What does it stand for?
Oh.
Civil Conservation Corps?
Yeah, my God.
Yeah, I used to know. Yeah.
I'll give you one too. Yeah. So, Civilian Conservation Corps.
Wow.
Civilian Conservation Corps. Long story short, during the Great Depression, the CCC is born. To spare you guys a ton of details, young men aged 18 to 24 years old build bridges, infrastructure, state parks, national parks around the entire country. I don't care where you guys are from or where you're going in the future, the CCC was probably there if it's a park. Okay, pretty cool, guys. If you're wondering what they would have looked like, that big hunky shirtless statue guy outside kind of looked like me, right? Yeah, I look just like that. Was a CCC guy. We did have 400 of them down here from 1934 to 1938. They built all of this stuff with their bare hands, which I think is crazy, right? Without them, the tour would be a lot different. I can show you guys what that would have looked like right in this room here. Okay, so we're gonna go in this way. Follow me, guys. Watch your head and your shoulders as we go in. Okay.
How long did the bad guy have?
The bad guy.
The bad guy.
He had it for roughly 35 to 40 years. A lot of people say 37 to be exact. The record keeping was a little bit odd.
Check that out.
He didn't technically own the cave ever. So it's kind
There's a lot of big holes in this cave.
Yeah.
A lot of the cave anyways.
So if you guys want to go a little bit that way and then look over the railing, that way we can all get up to this railing here. I want to show you guys. So without Frank Schmidt, without the CCC, right, that is your tour the entire time, right? That is just a bunch of unstable caved-in rocks that you're looking at. All right, what I find cool is we do still offer that experience seasonally, okay? So we have the basic tour, the ladder tour, which you guys are on, and the wild cave tour, right? The wild cave tour is literally 5 hours of just climbing around the cave. You do start that tour in that hole right there.
Wow.
So if you guys want, we can come back probably in about 3 weeks. We'll go in that way. It goes about 3 miles back on that tour. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want to go? No? It's pretty exciting.
If I fit, maybe.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of an optical illusion. It is still pretty tight. We do have something called a squeeze box outside. You go through that. A, if you can't fit, you can't go. You guys would all be fine. B, if you get halfway through the squeeze box, you start freaking out, then you also can't go. And you sign even more waivers than you already
That's
did
such a
today.
good idea.
Yeah.
If people are gonna freak, have them outside.
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody gets stuck.
Yeah, I went on a submarine tour. They had the same sort of thing before you go in.
Yeah, kind of a freak out box. Yeah. So yeah, little wild cave tour. Also, guys, last thing while we're in here that I find cool before we leave the room, since it just makes a quick loop, you guys are standing under a fault line, which I think is super cool. Right? You guys look up. There's a line that goes, and then there's a line that goes.
Yeah.
That is called a slip fault, meaning at one point the earth above us opens up. This rock you guys are standing under falls into that hole, wedges itself there, and has never ever moved since. It most likely won't today, but there's no promises, right? Yeah, pretty cool to think about. So check that out. And then lastly, guys, we are going to go back this way. It does connect either way, so you guys can go that way or this way. If you go that way, watch your head and shoulders extra. Okay?
Good, the new one.
I think everybody wants to go the hard way. We paid for the hard way. Let's go the hard way.
We gotta see every inch that we can. Wow, that is.
This
impressive.
cave's 30 miles long, you know. It'll take at least a week.
Wow. Very great. You really got into it. I get the passion, man. You guys, this formation that welcomes you into the room, very pretty. It is called a drapery formation. Kind of looks like drapes or curtains at your house, right? Given that little equation, about half an inch every 100 years, we do estimate that took close to 100,000 years to fully form like that, which I think is super cool. So check that out. And then last thing, guys, before we do continue the tour going this way, I want to show you guys one cool thing about where we're standing, okay? So the cave is 39 miles long, right? You guys get lost down here. It's super dark. It's scary. Some rooms kind of smell bad. I'm assuming you guys would all want to get out of here eventually. Yeah. So all you have to do wherever you're at lost, walk randomly long enough, and you'll probably end up right where we're standing. The reason I'm saying that, there's 5 entrances to this room alone. Okay. So the first one, we did come down earlier. That's pretty obvious back here. Okay. Number 2, small hole once again. That way I don't recommend. Not very fun at all. Very claustrophobic. Okay. Number 3, we did just check out Wild Cave Tour route, right? Number 4, we're gonna go down in about 4 minutes. Number 5, creepy oxygen tank and first aid kit and even a gurney. Whoa, that looks super ominous, right? So let me ask you guys. Let's say you made your way to this room. Which one are you choosing to get out of the cave?
That one.
Yes, right? However, cheating. Off limits. You can't go the way because it's too obvious, okay? So you have to choose a different route. Here's how you guys would do it. We have a cave witch on one of these walls here. If you guys find the cave witch and you ask her for directions, she'll point you out of the cave in the right way. If you guys need help finding her, everybody come up this way next to me, okay? We're gonna come right here. Come up nice and close.
Dun, dun, dun,
Okay, so you're lost in the cave. You make your way to this room. You look over here, and you see her long flowing hair. There's her hair. There is her eye and wart.
Oh, there's your.
There is her long nose. I know you guys see
Early
that.
Disney.
Right, there's her tooth.
Yeah.
There's her mouth, which is open, and she's even eating a limestone cookie. Cave witch. So, you guys ask her for directions. You look at her nose, points us out of the cave in the right way. You guys can take the creepy gurney way the whole way out. Yes, right? So here's the thing about her before we leave. Friendly, obviously. Also, guys, a little bit lonely. You guys are down here for thousands of years by yourself. You probably want a couple friends with you. So she used her powers and conjured up Shadow the cat. You guys all see the cat, right? Okay, and then you were talking about Disney. It's not quite Disney, but SpongeBob SquarePants? Yeah? SpongeBob Patrick. See him? Okay, and last friend, you guys know Mr. Magoo? Yeah? If you don't, long story short, really good at getting lost. His eyesight is terrible. Eye, nose, mouth, drinking tea or coffee, Mr. Magoo. He is good at getting lost. So you follow his nose. It points us in the wrong direction, deeper and deeper into the cave, which is exactly where we're going. Okay? That is all natural. I think that's pretty sweet. Right, Mr. Magoo, right? Before we go this way, you guys know what a barometer is? Because you're going to see what's coming up. Yes. Ours gives us a few readings. What's the temperature going to say? 71, right? Humidity is going to be about 55%, like I said. So if you're kind of sweaty, that's why. You guys live in Tucson?